Something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. I know what it is. You don't look like you're going fishing. You ought to have one of those funny little hats with all the hooks in them.
The guide will provide everything, Margo. All I have to do is be there. But just don't expect me to bring back a whole batch of fish. It's been years since I dropped a line in water.
Oh, don't worry about that, darling. One thing I don't want you to do is bring a whole bucket full of those slimy things for me to put into the freezer. I wouldn't know what to do with them. I don't think Jenny would either.
So why am I going? Let's just hope I catch something besides a cold, huh?
No, you better not catch a cold. You better take good care of yourself, as they say. Button up your overcoat. You belong to me. Oh, darling, I'm going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you.
Oh, well, this is a surprise, April.
Yes, perfect timing. One member of the family leaves, another one arrives. Where'd you get that, April?
This is Jamie, the future district attorney of Monticello.
Oh, isn't he precious? I'm so glad you brought him over. Do you suppose he'd mind if I held him for a minute?
Oh, he might, but I won't. Oh, he weighs a ton.
You got your meat.
I had no other choice but to bring him over here. A babysitter can't exactly find assistant babysitters now, can she?
I had an idea. I have an assistant babysitter. I told Jenny about this little fellow, and I know she'd love to meet him. Do you mind if I introduce them?
Please, go ahead.
We shall return, right, Jamie? Come.
So you're babysitting for Raven and Logan, huh?
Yeah, I am. I rather like it. I enjoy being with Jamie.
Oh. Well, much as I'd like to be part of this domestic bliss, I think I've got to be leaving. I want to try and reach the lodge before night. Margo!
What lodge?
I'm going fishing, April.
Oh, what about the unicorn? Who's minding the store?
The store's going to be closed for the rest of the week. Didn't you hear about last night?
Yes, of course I did. Shooting, was there any damage?
Not really. We're closing down to give people a chance to forget.
Yes, I suggested that he take a few days off just to relax. I thought it'd be a good opportunity.
You're not going with him?
Oh, darling, how can I go with him? I can't very well close up the studio, especially when my #1 assistant chooses to take care of that darling little boy instead, who has been kidnapped, by the way, by Jenny. She's stuffing him full of milk and cookies. Oh, he's such an adorable little boy.
I know.
Okay, Margo, I think it's time for you to say goodbye to your little boy. Come on.
Goodbye, little boy. Take care of yourself.
Come. Bye, April.
I want you to call me the minute you get there, so I'll be sure you're all right, darling.
I will.
You have a wonderful time, and I love you. All right?
And I love you.
April? Hey, is anything wrong?
Margo, I think you're wrong.
What?
I'm sorry. Look, it's none of my business, and I know I have no right to say it, but I can't help but feel that you are making a terrible mistake with Elliott. Look, I know we talked about it once before. I mean, about sharing things together and doing things together.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it.
Margo, hasn't it ever occurred to you that if you let Elliott go off by himself, that he just might not be doing what he says he's going to do?
Go on.
Well, do I have to finish it?
That's all right. Please, go on.
All right. Elliott is a handsome man. I'm sure there must be temptations.
Oh, you mean other women? It's all right, darling. I know.
What?
Oh, April. I know.
Margo? Margo, are you saying that you know Elliott is seeing someone else?
I didn't say that.
Certainly sounded like it.
I don't mean any particular woman, darling. Quite frankly, I wouldn't want to know.
But you do think that he's seeing another woman?
Oh, come on, darling. I can't be naive about this. I mean, that's one of the risks one runs when you marry someone younger than yourself. Look, Elliott and I have always been very rational from the first moment we talked about that.
It's a word I hate, you know. Rational and civilized. When one is talking about love, marriage.
Didn't realize we were talking about love.
But you do love Elliott. You told me you did.
Oh, well, That's my misfortune, isn't it?
Come on, Margo, there's no reason for you to have to take this.
No, really, darling, please. I've lived a few years longer than you have, you know. I've had a few more relationships like this than you. Well, not exactly like this. Who was it, Tolstoy, that said all happy marriages are exactly alike and all unhappy marriages are quite different in their own way? I mean, I'm not saying that Elliott and I are unhappy. We're not. We've made a beautiful adjustment to each other.
Adjustment, that's another word I hate.
Darling, you know your problem. Your problem is you think the world is very neat and orderly. And the heart is shaped just like a valentine, but it's not true. The world is a mess. And the heart is a muscle.
Margo, you're wrong. The heart isn't even a part of the body. It's part of the soul.
April, please stop it. I can't fool myself on this one issue. I cannot be naive about Elliott. I have to face the fact that he is going to stray. And I can't hold a tight leash on him, because if I hold a tight leash on him, he might break it, and if he breaks it, that'll break my heart, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, God, that's sad. Guess I'm lucky, though, you know. I mean, I don't have to worry about something like that with my husband.
No, you and Draper are quite a different cup of tea. Speaking of which, would you like one?
Tea?
Yeah.
Could use a drink. Got some wine.
That's a great idea. As a matter of fact, I think I will join you. Well, how is my darling Draper?
Tired. Very, very tired. Preoccupied.
Sorry to hear that.
He is very determined to earn a lot of money to pay you back the $35,000.
That is very foolish. There, you see, your husband has one negative trait. Pride. Foolish, foolish pride.
Well, I've thought a lot about it, and I'm not so sure that Draper isn't right.
About what?
Well, Margo, I think I was wrong. I think we were both wrong in keeping from Draper the fact that you put up the $35,000. Of course, at the time, I thought it was the only thing to do, that there was no way that Draper would have accepted that kind of a gift.
Darling, it was the only thing to do, because there would have been no house otherwise.
Margo, I think we should have taken our chances. I believe now that we should have discussed it openly with Draper. There's a chance, a very slight chance, that he might have accepted it if he knew how much it meant to me.
Now, you're being naive. He never would have accepted the money, period.
He might have, as a loan.
Oh.
Margo, that's what he considers it now, a loan. The difference is he'd be a lot less bitter. A lot less bitter about feeling he was deceived. And it's not right to deceive people.
It can be. I mean, if it's for the person's good.
No, it's not right for Draper. And it's not right for me. I mean, I'm upset that I deceived myself into believing that it was for my own good. Look, maybe I just better go check on Jane.
April, maybe I want to talk to you about something about Draper's job offer.
What about it?
About David Henson. Darling, I feel just awful, but I should have called him. I should have called him. I should have called him and told him that Draper is such a wonderful attorney. And maybe it wouldn't have done any good, but at least I would have tried.
Margo, it's all right, really. Besides, it doesn't even matter now.